Are you planning to start investing in property, or you're a recently new property investor and you're unsure of where to even start from a tax, accounts, wealth maximization point of view? Well, if you are, this video is for you. For those that are new to the channel or don't know who I am, my name is Joshua Tharby. I'm a chartered tax advisor, and for close to a decade, I've been working with landlords, property investors, property developers to reduce the amount of tax that they pay and build as much wealth as possible. In this video, we're going to cover everything that you need to know from a tax and accounts point of view before you start investing in properties. My advice to you is do not start anything just yet until you've watched this video. And if you know somebody who's about to start investing in property, shoot this video over to them as well so they don't make any catastrophic tax mistakes. So the first place to start is structure. Structure is everything when it comes to taxation. Whether you invest in property in your own name or do business in your own name, or a limited company, a partnership, an LLP, even now people talk about offshore properties, offshore companies, offshore properties. Ultimately, how you do business is one of the main drivers of tax, and fixing this later on down the line, especially with property, you've got stamp duty, capital taxes. It's not easy to do whatsoever. And as we've seen with Section 24, moving properties from your own name, partnerships into a limited company is very expensive, it's risky, and it gives you tax uncertainty and certainly some tax risk. So make sure you get it right from day one is my best advice. We just mentioned the word Section 24 here, and that's going to lead us on nicely to, well, actually, should you invest in your own name or for a limited company? So prior to about 2016, a lot of people invested in property in their own name because it was relatively tax efficient to do so. Mortgage interest was your biggest expense as a buyer to that landlord. As a property investor, you could deduct that in full, and ultimately things weren't too bad. However, Section 24 came in, and as an individual landlord or partnership, you can no longer fully deduct your mortgage interest when it comes to calculating the profit of which you pay income tax on. As a result of this, most landlords now have either incorporated, we've not got few, we work with hundreds of property investor clients, very few do invest in their own names. Most now are limited company investors. And with the changes to income tax as well for property income, from April 2027, the tax rates for property income in your own name, they're going up as well. So 22% as a basic rate taxpayer, 42%, and then even 47% for an additional rate taxpayer investing in property. So these tax rates are absolutely astronomical. And then, of course, if you're paying 47% tax on your profits, the Section 24, the nuts and bolts of that is you only get a basic rate tax credit. So 22% of your mortgage interest, that comes off of your tax bill, and ultimately you are significantly out of pocket. You're probably paying in excess of 50% in taxes. Certainly if you've got child benefit, if you're near the pastoral allowance taper threshold of £100,000, it's just an absolute no-brainer. And by the time you look at your tax adjusted return, which is, we advise a lot of clients to do this because they might say, oh, actually, we're going to invest in property in our own name. We've got a little bit of money. We could get a 10% return on this property. But actually, by the time you pay 50% tax, you're left with just 5%. Would you be better off just sticking the £20,000 in an ISA? Potentially so. And then another nail in the coffin for individual property investors is making tax digital. Absolute nightmare at the moment within the firm. So many landlords aren't ready for it. A lot of the clients that we do have left that are individual landlords, actually they're some of the older guys. They're not sitting on zero. They've not got the technology. So this is just an absolute nail in the coffin. It has forced a lot of people to sell up because they don't want the hassle. And this is basically where you've got to do 4 tax returns a year plus a final submission. Everything's got to be digitally linked. You've got to use software for this. At the moment, it only applies if you've got income, property income, self-employment income over £50,000. But they are dropping that threshold over the next couple of years, so a lot more people will be brought into it. I do have a separate video on the YouTube channel for this. I'll put that in the comments below. So if you are a property investor already with properties in your own name, do go and check that out because the deadline has passed for actually registering. The first deadline for filing is just a couple of months away, so it's important that you do get on top of this. So now we've covered, well, actually investing in your own name. For most people, unless you're a basic rate taxpayer and you're comfortably a basic rate taxpayer, you've got whatever you want to earn through property spare. So if you earn £25,000 a year, you just want to replace that. Okay, property investing in your own name from an income tax point of view isn't all that bad, but for anybody else who's certainly a high earner, certainly wants to build a large property portfolio, a limited company now is absolutely the way to go. It just does not make tax sense to be buying property in your own name in the UK where you're paying taxes of over 50%, you've got to do 5 tax returns a year, which has absolutely killed individual property investment. So we know that investing in property isn't tax efficient through your own name, which is why most landlords now who are looking at building serious wealth that want to minimise taxes are using limited companies. You might have heard of them being called property investment SPVs. You've got different types of structures, group structures, smart investment companies, family investment companies. There's a lot of different kind of terms that have been coined for a limited company, but fundamentally it's a limited company, it's registered a company's house, and it's got to deal with all of the admin and the tax returns that a limited company does. So we'll start there, get that one boxed off. But actually, what do you need to do as a limited company in terms of admin? Do you need an accountant? So there's three main things that you actually need to do as a limited company. Confirmation statement, that goes in each year. It tells Companies House who the shareholders are, the person of significant control. Nice and easy. The second one is statutory accounts on Companies House, showing the income, profit and loss, the balance sheet, everything else. That's all got to be filed in as well. And then you've got the corporation tax return, which basically outlines all the right numbers and all the right boxes. Whatever tax you've got to pay needs to be paid over to HMRC. Those 3 things you can't do yourself. I wouldn't recommend anyone does do themselves. So you will need an accountant to handle all of your admin for your property investment company. And then, well, what taxes does a limited company pay? So we know that investing in your own name, you've got taxes, you've got the effective tax rates of over 50%, actual headline tax rates of 47%. Well, for a limited company, it's a lot more flexible and the tax rates are much more favourable. So with a limited company, you've got a couple of different tax rates that apply. This is assuming that you've not got any other limited companies and this is your only limited company. In headline terms, the first £50,000 of profit, which remember, mortgage interest is fully tax deductible for a limited company. So it's different to an individual investor. You can deduct all of your mortgage interest as a limited company, which is one of the biggest reasons that any smart investor is using a limited company. And there are plenty of others as well. So for the first £50,000 of profits, 19% corporation tax you'll pay. Between 50,000 and 250,000, it's basically a 26.5% tax rate. Over 250, 25%. So that's pretty straightforward, nice and easy. And then of course, with a limited company as well, you can deduct so many different expenses. So actually when you've got a limited company, it's a separate legal entity. So you can actually pay yourself a salary, which is a tax deductible expense. And if you've got no other income, could utilise your personal allowance. If your partner's working in the business, you could be utilising their personal allowance. There's quite a few different tax tricks and strategies as a limited company to make sure that you are fully reducing your tax bill. Outside the scope of this video, we've got tons of other videos on the channel that do cover actually reducing tax as a limited company property investor. This one's aimed at everybody just getting started and actually what you need to do now to get set up tax efficiently as a property investor. When you've got rents coming in, when you've got tax to pay, then we can optimize it. The type of company that you should set up ultimately depends on your long-term investment objectives and where you are now from a financial standpoint. We've got 2 types of limited companies that you could get set up. A standard off-the-shelf limited company, set up a Companies House, ordinary share classes, which is probably about how 98% of property investors operate. A simple standalone company, and for a lot of people that does work. However, for people that are pretty high net worth already, or are certainly going to tick that box off, build a significant property portfolio, and by that we're talking at least $1 million or plus in equity, then it might be worth having a family investment company set up from day one, which essentially allows you a lot more flexibility over tax planning, who owns the company, who can get dividends out, who can participate in capital rights in the future. So it's a lot more tax efficient, especially from an inheritance tax point of view. However, it's pretty costly to get set up from day one. Family investment company, you're looking at least £10,000 plus VAT to get set up. So we really only advise it for high net worth investors who are looking to deploy at least $500,000 of initial seed capital, plus they have other assets. For most people that fall outside of this, we recommend just a standard limited company, or maybe a company of alphabet shares, so husband and wife, business partner can take different levels of dividends, and it gives you a little bit of flexibility. So if you are looking at getting into business and you do want to have a conversation about what type of company you should set up, feel free to book a call in below, be with myself, run through where you are at the minute, and I can recommend which type of company is most suitable for you. For a lot of people, a basic off-the-shelf company, a couple of £100 to get set up, is the most tax efficient way to go, because you're not there yet, you've not got business partners, you don't need a complex, clever, tax optimized company right now. So you're better off using that money to invest in property so that you're going to get to your destination faster, and then when you're there, we can optimize things and change the structure if we need to. When you do set up your limited company, a lot of people ask, well, does a company need to be set up a couple of years before? Do we need accounts to get mortgages? For buy-to-let investing, that's pretty much never the case. They're happy to lend against the asset, against the property, so you don't need to worry about, if you've just got a new company set up, can you actually invest? Yes, you absolutely can. The only thing that I see in my experience with our clients and myself personally is mortgage lenders do get a bit funny about SIC codes, the standard industrial classification, but if you're just looking at doing buy-to-let, 68209 is the way to go. That will work with pretty much all mortgage lenders and will be absolutely fine. One last point to cover, which is a question I get asked a lot, is should we have multiple different properties in one company or should we spread them out? And to be honest, there's no tax answer, there's no kind of tax factors to each one. Well, actually, if you do buy one property and then you've got another one in a different company, well, you'd be a great client because you'd have lots of different accountancy fees, lots of work for us. But from a tax point of view, there's no benefit to doing that. One small factor is a risk mitigation point of view, where if one of the loans defaults, like you see in 2008, well, actually it's kind of ring fenced to that company, except where you put a personal guarantee in. But at least if you've got other assets, there might be some additional safety benefits. But most of our clients, they own 10, 20, 30 properties in one limited company because it just makes sense. I certainly would never recommend having one property per individual company. Just makes your life a nightmare having that many different companies. Maybe if you were to have 10 or 15 per company, if you did want some sort of ring fence or safety benefits. But the only time we really recommend having different companies is if you're doing different property strategies. So if you're doing deal sourcing, rent to rent, packaging, development, whatever it might be, you've got different strategies which have different tax treatments because they're trading, they've got VAT compared to normal residential property, buy-to-let investing, which doesn't have VAT, which isn't considered a trade for tax purposes. It's best to separate those out. But if you're just getting started in property, you're doing buy-to-let, HMO investing, have it in one company, keep accountancy fees low, keep things simple. And there we have it, guys. Some top tips for any new property investor looking to get started, how to invest, things to watch out for, the accountancy admin that you need to be mindful of, what different company to get set up. And remember, if you are a property investor looking to get started and you need help with your accounting and tax planning, book a call on that link below. We can run through where you are at the minute, how we can help you achieve your goals in investments and wealth building and minimize tax along the way. As always, guys, I hope you found this video useful. Please do give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and see you next week. Bye for now.